A Thornton Township meeting tonight is expected to draw in a lot of people.
Tiffany Henyard is planning to take part in a look at Township's finances, and she likely herself will be a topic of conversation.
So it seems to me that Tiffany Henyard is doing damage control now. So she had a meeting, an emergency meeting in Thornton Township last night. They was talking about expenses and basically trying to show more transparency. What's happening in Dalton, Thornton Township don't want that. So she came to the table because she knows that she's under scrutiny, and she brought some of her people there. It was funny, right? But before she got there, the news was reporting on what was supposed to happen at the meeting. They was talking about the $9,000 that she used a Thornton Township credit card to go to take her trip to DC with Keith Freeman and some of her other cronies. And the township wanted transparency. So she came out, she talked about some things about the surplus that the township now has under her leadership. And it went, so basically what the news reported, basically, let's just get into what was said before the meeting started. Check this out.
A Thornton Township meeting tonight is expected to draw in a lot of people.
Tiffany Henyard is planning to take part in a look at Township's finances, and she likely herself will be a topic of conversation. Nate Rogers is live with a look ahead at what we can expect. Nate.
Yeah, absolutely, Terrence and Sylvia. Good evening to the both of you. Thornton Township Supervisor, and Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is hosting what she calls a Township Talk tonight. She's expected to talk about the Township's finances and answer any questions and offer some feedback as well. Now, all of this comes at one day after Fox 32's Dane Placco aired a report investigating what some are calling misappropriation of funds by Henyard. Henyard traveled to Washington, D.C. in January for a U.S. Conference of Mayors annual meeting. According to credit card records obtained by Fox 32, Henyard paid more than $9,100 for the trip, including money paid toward the conference, plane tickets for herself and her assistant, Keith Freeman. Hotel rooms and a rental car were also a part of the payments. The issue, the card used for the trip is from Thornton Township, even though Henyard went as the mayor of Dalton. Now, Thornton Township trustee Chris Gonzalez says he's frustrated by the lack of transparency about the township's bills and credit cards. Other Thornton Township mayors are upset as well because they say the money should be spread throughout various communities. Now, back out here live, we did reach out to Mayor Henyard as well as to her assistant, Mr. Freeman, to inquire about these expenses. We have not yet heard back. We do know that this talk with the supervisor goes from 5 to 7 p.m. Of course, we'll be here and we'll keep you updated on air and online about this case. That is the latest here in South Holland. Nate Rogers, Fox 32 Chicago.
So going into this meeting, people was expecting her to talk about the finances of Thornton. And at this meeting, it seemed like she invited her cousins, her sisters, her brothers. But without all jokes aside, there was a lot of supporters of hers that came to this meeting. They said it was about 30 to 40 people in the room. A lot of people was there in support of her and was saying about the good job that she was doing. Now, I know that her PR team set this up because she's been getting destroyed in the media for a long time. So now they had to have something that make her look positive or make her look good in a certain light. We know that she can't do it in the city of Dalton where she reigns as the mayor, but in Thornton Township where she gets a six-figure salary, she had people come out and speaking positive of her. And it went something like this. Check this out.
Tonight in South Holland, in a room filled with curiosity and concern, Tiffany Henyard addressed her constituents.
The Thornton Township Supervisor and Dalton Mayor invited the community to Township Talk, where she responded to our report about her use of the Township credit card by mentioning travel expenses. Nate Rogers live in South Holland with more. Nate.
That's right, Don and Terrence. Tonight's meeting had a much different tone than what we've experienced previously at Dalton City Council meetings. Now, the room was full of Henyard supporters, and they wanted me to be sure to tell you that they applauded for her several times as she talked about the township being in a great place financially. Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who's also the mayor of Dalton, hosting a township talk tonight. About 30 residents in attendance, Henyard staff talking about upcoming events as well as resources for seniors and struggling families. The majority of the meeting focused on property taxes and finances. Henyard showed residents how their property taxes have increased each year despite what their local mayors may have suggested. Staffers also distributed a breakdown of the township's finances from 2017 to current, where Henyard's team says years ago they were in a deficit of more than $2 million. And now, today, under her administration, her team says there's a surplus of more than $6 million.
Very appreciative to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 1993. And she's the best we ever had.
You know, you're doing a lot of programs, good programs for the, the senior citizens, and you're doing a lot of programs for, people who are on a fixed budget. Mm-hmm. But what about the people, the blue-collar people who are still carrying this, this town?
I was very appreciative of the transparency of the supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Were there any questions that you have at all?
No, right now I'm going to give her a chance.
And this meeting comes one day after Fox 32's Dane Placco exposed what some are calling misappropriation of funds after traveling to Washington, D.C. in January for a U.S. conference of mayors. According to credit card records obtained by Fox 32, Henyard paid more than $9,100 for the trip. Expenses included conference payments, plane tickets for herself and her assistant Keith Freeman, hotel rooms, and a rental car. The issue, a Thornton Township credit card was used. Henyard apparently went representing her mayoral seat in Dalton. Her critics say there is a lack of transparency about the bills and credit cards. Tonight, Henyard did not specifically mention Washington, but in her last comments, she did address budgets for travel.
You know we have a budget for travel. I can't stand that they just put all that out there so bad for travel. And you should, for you, other cities, other villages, library boards, park boards, school boards, and you'll see that they all travel. But yet, they put all this stuff on travel. And it's all legal. It's all legal. They try to spin it. And it's sad because they are doing a smear campaign.
Yeah, Henyard says that her critics are merely running a smear campaign because her mayoral seat and her supervisor seat are up for re-election next year. The FBI continues to investigate Henyard and her team in Dalton after several reports of misconduct. In South Holland, I'm Nate Rogers, Fox 32 Chicago.
So as you can see, her PR team had her supporters show up, and they applauded for her, and they were elated and very jubilant about the way that she's been running the township. So we saw Miss Wiederman and Trustee Gonzalez out there in Thornton Township, and how these people are disgruntled. But then you have people that look like her that come there, and they're very happy in the way that she's running the township. I told y'all, man, there's a lot of corruption going on here, man. She was put there by those people in power that was under Zuccarelli because they figured that they can control her. They can keep things going the way Zuccarelli had it. If they get this inexperienced girl, the young lady, to come in here and basically run our township, where we'll really run things from behind the scene, but they'll have a black face. She'll be the face. And she got there and she fired Wiederman, just start getting rid of people, shaking things up and doing things her way, and all hell broke loose. And now the people in the a lot of people in the township are disgruntled, but then you have people that supports her in the township. But they wanted to make sure that the news, Fox 32, WGN, the news, they wanted to make sure that they see that people outside of Dalton and Thornton Township saw that she had supporters. She had people that had her back. And she said that election time is coming soon, and they're coming after her because they want to take her spot. So she's basically echoing the same thing I've been saying. There's a lot of corruption. She came there to shake things up and they're coming after her. That's what she's saying without saying it. But so she's saying, don't look at me as the corrupt one. I ain't the corrupt one. Those people over there are the corrupt ones. The ones that's trying to take me down are the ones that's corrupt. That's what she's trying to say. Now, do we believe that? No. Has she been charged with anything yet? No. We're still waiting to see what the feds are going to do. But she had this meeting, and she showed just maybe a smidge of transparency. Maybe just a little bit. Just enough to get maybe some of the people off her back. So, and I know that people are going to do videos and say that this was a scam and a sham of a meeting, but they invited the news cameras out there, and people showed up, and this is what happened. But I'm going to cut this video short here. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this meeting. Let me know if you think that this was a stunt created by her PR team, right? And just let me know what you guys think. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.